Annual Training Conference, presented to you by the National Public Employer Labor Relations Association. My name is Scott O'Connor, and I will be your moderator. Before we begin, I have a few reminders. We have an upcoming webinar scheduled in 2017. We have upcoming webinars scheduled for 2017. Be sure to check our website for information and to register. All future webinars will continue to be offered in the reduced 60-minute format and will be priced at the low rate of $89 for National PELRA members. Be sure to join us for our next webinar, Resources You Need to Know, which will take place on Wednesday, January 18th, 2017. If there is a specific topic that you'd like the National PELRA to cover on a webinar in 2017, please let me know. For the length of the program, your line will remain muted. So we encourage you to ask questions by typing them into the question section of your control panel. We have our operations manager, Yvonne, at the helm, answering all your questions. If you can, why don't you tell us where you're located today, what part of the country, and how many people are attending this webinar with you? And in the meantime, I'd like to introduce our panelists. Michelle Green,
hello.
National PELRA President. Melanie Alt, National PELRA Vice President. Sean Robinson, National PELRA Executive Director. Yvonne Gillingerton, National PELRA Operations Manager. Now, it looks like we've got some locations coming in. I'd like to introduce Yvonne, who will be answering all our questions today. Yvonne, can you tell us where some of these people are calling in from?
So far, I see New York and Washington State.
Okay, both cold places in the country.
And Montana just jumped in.
Excellent. Welcome, Montana. Well, at this time, I'd like to turn the webinar over to our National President, Michelle Green, to say a few words. Michelle?
Hi, thanks, Scott. And I just wanted to welcome everybody. I'm Michelle Green. I'm the Employee and Labor Relations Manager for Sarasota County, Florida. And I'm honored to be the National President this year. I'm very excited to be on the webinar today and to share with you all the exciting aspects of the 2017 Annual Training Conference. This is a wonderful opportunity to meet other professionals in the field and educate yourself on current topics. Special thanks to the National PELRA team, Sean, Yvonne, Scott, and the newest team member, Susan. I also want to thank the ATC committee chaired by Melanie Alt from Minnesota. Melanie, would you please introduce your committee members?
Sure, Michelle, thanks. This has been a really good group of people to work with, a lot of fun. I'd like to thank the Annual Training Conference, the ATC committee members, Vice Chair Michael Crotty from Illinois, and members Harold Cates, Shantae Akafia, Stormy Brown, Andrew Haynes, Lynn Gorski, and Don Houston.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it. And I also want to send my thanks to everybody on the training committee. It's been a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. And I'll turn it back over to Scott.
Okay, well, great. Thank you, Michelle and Melanie. I wanted to let you know throughout this webinar, we are looking for your participation as well. And if you have a chance to, and you'll have a chance to answer some of our polling questions. Why don't we just get started with our first polling question? I'm going to launch it right now. And you should be able to see that on your screen. And the question is, are you planning on attending the 2017 National PELRA Annual Training Conference in Long Beach? I'll leave the polls open for a few seconds, and then we'll get the results. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll right now. And then I'm going to share the results, which should appear on your screen. And it looks like 75% of our attendees today are planning on attending the show, and we have about 25% maybes. So we hope that the maybes are definitely going to come. Go ahead and close out of the polling question, and then we're going to continue with our highlights. So for today's webinar, we're going to highlight some of the training opportunities. We'd like to tell you about some of the networking opportunities. We'd also like to give you a chance to meet our 2017 sponsors, attractions worth seeing here in Southern California, and just a few tips to remember for the 2017 Annual Training Conference. Well, with that in mind, I'd like to turn it over to Melanie to begin our discussion on training. Melanie?
Thanks. The National PELRA's Academy 3, the negotiation process, is on Sunday. And you can attend this academy even if you haven't attended Academy 1 or 2. It doesn't matter if you take them in order or not. But you're going to want to hurry and sign up for this one. We're already getting several registrations rolling in. It's a fun academy where you learn facets of negotiations in the morning, and then you get to practice your real-life negotiation skills and tactics as part of a group in a role play in the afternoon. And then after that, the debriefing and the learning about the other side, what they were thinking, and their strategies, that can be particularly interesting.
Okay, well, great. Sean, you want to go ahead and speak about the ADA employee accommodation?
Sure will. Thanks, Scott, and thanks, Melanie. If you're not attending the National PELRA Academy 3, I'd urge you to attend our pre-conference workshop, the ADA Employee Accommodations, Unraveling the Chaos, Creating Compliance Solutions. We are very fortunate to have nationally known Rachel Shaw, president of Shaw HR Consulting and Emerald sponsor, present this high-octane, very informative 3-hour pre-conference workshop for the National PELRA on the ADA accommodation. Rachel will address the difficult accommodation matters related to ongoing intermittent leave, psychological disabilities, and employee-supervisor conflicts in the workplace. You will certainly leave this workshop feeling empowered and take away tangible tools to enhance your organization. There is a separate registration for this workshop and costs $99. Then, our keynote speaker on Monday, April 24th, is the best-selling author of nearly 50 sports books. Ross Bernstein is an award-winning peak performance business speaker who's keynoted conferences on 4 continents for audiences as small as 10 and as large as 10,000. Ross and his books have been featured on thousands of television and radio programs over the years, including CNN, ESPN, Bloomberg, Fox News, and CBS This Morning. He's spent the better part of the past 20 years studying the DNA of championship teams and his program, The Champions Code, building relationships through life lessons of integrity and accountability from the sports world to the business world. It not only illustrates what it takes to become the best of the best, it also explores the fine line between cheating and gamesmanship in sports as it relates to the values and integrity in the workplace. Based largely on the good to great ideology of how the best companies are able to separate themselves from the rest of the pack through dynamic leadership, by creating a culture of excellence, and by giving extraordinary customer service, Ross's program reinforces the concept that individuals win games, but teams win championships.
That's a great way to kick off the conference. Thanks. Your well-being matters. Siegel Consulting, a silver sponsor, highlights in this session the importance of well-being and recognizing how pervasive it is in influencing the work environment. To make it specifically relevant to National PELRA members, Siegel conducted a member survey, and actually that survey is still open through Friday. If you haven't taken it, please do. And Siegel will be tailoring this session based on your responses to make it an even more meaningful session for you. So I encourage you to attend.
Thanks, Melanie. And I do encourage you, if you haven't already completed a survey, to please do that. The next session, Mission Impossible, How to Improve Your Chance in Grievance Arbitration. Todd Lyons from Fisher & Phillips will help you crack the code and achieve your objectives in grievance arbitration. In this high-energy class, you'll have the opportunity for hands-on activities to learn how to analyze, respond, and prepare grievances for an optimal result, winning.
Yes. collective bargaining and interests. This is a session I'm personally looking forward to. Bob Smith, a partner with Clark Baird Smith, a Diamond sponsor, he always nails it with his observations and national trends, including those drawn from a survey of you, our members. Even better, Bob gives you specific wording to use or to be aware of and other practical takeaways, things you can put into practice right away.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. Our next plenary session, Managing Through a Crisis, Ann Marin from the village of Fox Lake and Yvette Hetzelman from Clark Baird Smith share their true life experiences with you when a small town police lieutenant was killed in Illinois. After a massive manhunt, it was later discovered that he had staged his own homicide. Learn how this happened and how the town came together after the event to rebuild the citizens' trust.
Okay, well,
Great.
great.
Thanks, Michelle.
Sean, I just wanted to remind the attendees that if they have any questions throughout the webinar, to please use the chat function at the bottom, and we can answer any of those questions right now. Okay, back to you, Sean. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Scott. After the plenary session on Tuesday, April 25th, we have 5 workshops. And what I'd like to do is go over the workshops that we'll be having. First is what's next after the ACA, what every public agency should know. Ron Kramer, an attorney with Seyfarth Shaw, a bronze sponsor, and Daniel Kopty, National Practice Employee Benefit Compliance Advisor for Wells Fargo Insurance Services USA, silver sponsor, will let us know what will happen with the ACA with the new President-elect Trump coming into office. Will the ACA still exist, or will some parts still be in place? Come and learn what is on the horizon. Our next workshop is Hot Topics in Employment Law and the EEOC. An attorney from Clark Baird Smith will present this workshop. Participants will take part in an interactive and informative session that highlights the latest employee law trends as well as the EEOC's position regarding those trends. From recent EEOC activity and court filings to identifying and preventing retaliation claims to how to respond to requests for accommodation due to an employee's disability, pregnancy, or religious beliefs. This workshop will be full of relevant information to take back to your agency. Workshop 3 is our Labor Relations Boot Camp. Come hear from 2 experienced practitioners in the field of labor relations. Michael Bates, Labor Relations Consultant from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Joe Carrillo, the Deputy Director of HR for Pierce County in Tacoma, Washington. This workshop is designed for the newer practitioners who will be exposed to the fundamentals of labor law, including union representation issues, unfair, improper practice cases, collective bargaining, dispute resolution, and contract administration. The presenters will also review ideas for developing an effective management negotiating team as you approach your first or successor contract negotiations. Our 4th workshop, Observing Due Process. In hell, there will be nothing but law, and the due process will be meticulously observed. Understanding due process is critical to an employer's best practice. Who best to teach these to you other than Todd Lyon, an attorney with Fisher & Phillips of Portland, Oregon, and Kyle Galea, an attorney with Von Briesen and Roper from Madison, Wisconsin. Todd and Kyle will engage in hands-on activities to help the attendees apply knowledge and techniques in every application, including drafting due process letters and conducting a due process hearing. And finally, our 5th workshop, Bargaining Perspectives from a Union and Management Expert, What You Need to Know. Always a hit with the National PELRA ATC is the bargaining perspective from a union and management expert. We are fortunate to have, for the management, Eddie Kreisberg, a principal with Myers-Nabe from Oakland, California, And from the union, Jason Jasning, a partner with Messing, Adam, and Jasmine out of Sacramento, California. They will share their unique perspectives on negotiating during these challenging financial times. Both have negotiated, advised, arbitrated, and or litigated pension and retiree health benefit issues, health changes, and implementations of layoffs and furloughs, and will discuss the realities in working out these deals and other hot labor issues when money is tight.
Great, thank you, Sean. Yvonne, I just wanted to check in with you. Have we had any questions that we need to discuss?
No, we're all good for now.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle then.
All right. Thank you, Sean, for explaining all the workshops. They all look like they're wonderful choices. It's going to be hard to pick from just one of those. Labor and Employment Law Jeopardy. This is always a very interactive and highly competitive session. Carol Morinelli with Ogletree Beacons, one of our sponsors, pits teams against each other in this journey through the murky waters of labor and employment. Learn while you're having fun, and always remember to answer with the question. Did any of the panel members attend last year?
Yeah,
I've attended it. I've attended in the past, and it gets quite animated, and people really get into it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, I was just going to say, Karen does a great job with this session, and I would highly recommend going to this one.
Yeah, it's extremely competitive. So if you attend the session, make sure that you answer with the question and get with a great team. Okay.
Okay, our next plenary session on Tuesday, April 25th is the FLSA. Recent changes you need to know about. Join us once again for the FLSA update from the FLSA guru, Peter Brown, partner of Liebert Cassidy Whitmore, silver sponsor. Peter will discuss the recent rulings from the DOL, as well as various case studies that have impacted the FLSA. Peter has been a staple of the National PELRA ATC, presenting at 18 consecutive ATCs. Sadly, this will be Peter's last FLSA update for the National PELRA, so you really can't miss this one.
It has always been a memorable session, and I don't want to miss that one. It'll be sad to see him go. We also have another presenter who's been with us for many, many years, Keith Freedy with Arthur J. Gallagher, an Emerald sponsor. He's been a favorite annual speaker of ours and also quite animated. This year, he's presenting on management development. And we all generally know the growing importance of having people skills in management, but Keith is going to give us answers and give us tips which we can intentionally put into practice right now. I love those takeaways.
Great, thanks, Melanie. And the next session that we have I wanted to highlight is managing the generations. For the first time in history, 4 generations, the boomers, the Xers, the Yers, and the millennials, are all working in the workplace. Come hear from Ron Holyfield, CEO of Strategic Government Resources, the silver sponsor, who will provide practical strategies for building a cohesive team across all these generational lines.
Thanks, Sean. The next session I want to highlight is the Even Smarter Bargaining, and it's what we've all been waiting for, the Even Smarter Bargaining book. This will be a must-read for labor relations professionals at all levels, whether they're boomers, Xers, Yers, or millennials. The session is presented by Ben Garrett, Clark Baird Smith, who will highlight tips and strategies that can be learned from the upcoming book. In challenging economic times, it's more important than ever to have a firm grasp on the hidden traps and costs buried in a collective bargaining agreement. This book will be available for purchase in January, and it'll be available either in hard copy or an ebook through Amazon. More information will be sent to you once it's available, and I certainly look forward to reading the book and getting a copy of it for my work team.
Me too, Michelle. I can't wait for it to come out. The legal update. When you're making your travel arrangements, make sure you stay for this very last session. You don't want to miss it. It's the Legal Update with Ken Weinstock. Ken has been winding up our annual conferences for many, many years with his humorous, his fun, and always informative, very informative review of important legal and agency decisions. It's a great way to wind up our conference. Consider staying through Thursday. If you want to attend the Investigations Elective Academy, we will be offering that on Thursday. It's a full day packed with what you should know about the proper way to conduct workplace investigations and what to watch out for. And then if you've already taken Academies 1, 2, and 3, we encourage you to get your CLRP certification. Stay Thursday morning and take the CLRP exam. It's an alternative to writing the paper. It's a quick way to complete your CLRP certification and the perfect way to top off your National PELRA Conference experience.
Great. Thank you, Melanie. It's time for our second polling question. I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Let me move the screen over for you. So you should be able to see it on your screen. And the question is, are you planning on attending one of our academies or taking the CLRP exam during the conference? I'm going to leave the polls open for a few seconds, and then we can discuss or share the results. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the polling, and I'm going to share the results. And it looks like we've got about 14% of the people that are interested in taking the Academy of 3, the negotiation process, and about the same for the elective academy, the investigations process too. And then 71% are still not sure what they're going to do, but it is available, and we hope that you take advantage of that. Okay, well, I'd like to hide that screen and move on to our next section of the webinar. I wanted to let you know that that concludes our training highlights. For a complete list of all our training opportunities, please refer to the 2017 Annual Training Conference brochure on the National PELRA website. Now it's time to move on to networking opportunities, as I mentioned. And I just wanted to let you know, if you have any questions at any time during this webinar, please let us know by using the chat function on the control panel. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Sean, who's going to talk about the National PELRA Annual Golf Tournament. Sean?
Great, thanks, Scott. Quoting John Daly, it's time to grip it and rip it. Grab your clubs and join the National PELRA at the links at Victoria to network with friends, colleagues, and conference sponsors at the National PELRA's Annual Golf Tournament. This is your chance to have your name immortalized on the PELRA Cup. Anyone can play, and all skill levels are welcome. There is a separate registration for this and costs $90, which includes transportation, breakfast, green and cart fees, tournament prizes, and lunch.
For first-timers, if you've never been to an annual training conference, then this reception is designed for you. All you need to do is show up, and you will be instantly greeted by the board members and past presidents who will get to know you and start making connections with you. You will walk out with a new set of friends and knowing that the National PELRA is a place where you belong. Moving on then, Sunday evening is the welcome reception. Everyone looks forward to this Sunday event to connect with their colleagues they haven't seen maybe since the previous ATC and to meet new ones. We will have hors d'oeuvres served at stations around the room so you can make your way around and meet new colleagues. On Monday, we have the Robin Hall Luncheon. Lunch is provided during this annual awards event. Attend and celebrate who is honored and become inspired to nominate someone for next year's awards. We have a Monday evening networking reception. We will be taking a short walk to the Federal Bar for an early evening networking reception, and then you're free to explore nearby restaurants for dinner and explore the area. On Wednesday, we have a luncheon. It is our foundation luncheon raffle. It's a chance to honor our scholarship winners and to acknowledge this year's contributions to our National PELRA Foundation, providing scholarships each year. It is also a time when we award the raffle prizes. You'll be given the opportunity to purchase tickets to deposit into the prize of your choice, and drawings will be held at that time.
Great. Thank you, Melanie. That's a really fun event, so we hope that everyone can make it. Now it's time for our third polling question. I'm going to go ahead and launch it. It should appear on your screen shortly. And we'll leave the polls open for a few seconds, and go ahead and answer that if you can. Okay, looks like the results are in. I'm going to close the polling question and share the results. And it looks like 88% of you are planning on attending the Monday night networking reception. So that's great news. We're going to go ahead and hide this and move on to our next screen about the Tuesday night celebration. And I'm going to turn this over to Melanie. Melanie.
Sure. The Queen Mary. Well, this is the really big highlight, the Tuesday night dinner and tour on the Queen Mary. We will be taking shuttle buses from the hotel to the docked Queen Mary, where we will both dine on this vessel and we get to tour it. A lot of history is packed into this. And we're also encouraging everybody to get into the spirit of the times by dressing in the 1930s or 40s style. It's highly encouraged that you come with a piece of that era.
Great. Thank you, Melanie. Now we're going to talk about our sponsors, and I'm going to turn this over to Melanie again. Melanie.
Sure. NeoGov. I personally have been working with NeoGov for many years. NeoGov is the market and technology leader in on-demand human resources software for the public sector. Their HR software automates the entire hiring, onboarding, and performance evaluation process. We thank NeoGov for being the National PELRA's first platinum level sponsor. And we also want to point out that NeoGov will be offering a lunch on Tuesday. So make sure you stop by the NeoGov booth and sign up for that luncheon.
Great, thank you. Michelle, would you like to talk about the diamond level sponsor? Michelle, can you hear me?
Oops. Hello. Sorry.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay,
Clark Baird Smith is the National PELRA General Counsel. They're a law firm comprised of some of the Midwest's foremost attorneys practicing labor and employment law on behalf of public and private sector management clients. We want to thank CBS for their continued support of the National PELRA. And I'd also like to thank all of our other sponsors that we have this year. And please take the opportunity while you're at the conference to stop by their booths, talk to the sponsors, and get to know them at the 2017 ATC.
Great, thank you, Michelle. The next thing we'd like to share with you are all the great attractions worth seeing and visiting here in Southern California. There's many attractions to visit. We're just going to highlight a few. But if you have any questions on this, this is kind of in our backyard, and I know we've all been to all these attractions, so feel free to call or email me, and I can definitely give you the scoop on each and every one of these. Now, the first one I'd like to talk to you about is the Aquarium of the Pacific. Now, this is located in downtown Long Beach. This is a 5-acre facility which has over 11,000 animals representing over 500 different species. Be sure to check out the Shark Lagoon and the Blue Cavern, which is a 3-story tank showcasing the sea life in the waters around Catalina Island. It's located downtown and within walking distance of the Conference Hotel. The next place we'd like to share with you is Belmont Shores, which offers over 60 retail stores and restaurants. You can find everything from outlets to one-of-a-kind stores selling jewelry, home decor, and much, much more. This is a great place to grab a cup of coffee and take a stroll and do some window shopping. Now, if you've never been to Catalina Island, I highly recommend this. It's a great way to spend the day. Catalina Island is a short 60-minute ferry ride from Long Beach. You can walk, ride, or even rent a golf cart to explore the city of Avalon. There are tons of oceanfront bars, restaurants, and gift shops. This is a trip you'll never forget. I've been going to Catalina Island probably for the last 10 years, and I love it, and I never get bored with it. So if you have an opportunity to do it, I would highly recommend it, as I said earlier. The next thing is, of course, Disneyland, California Adventure, which is located in nearby Anaheim. Disneyland and California Adventure will make you feel like a kid again. The parks offer numerous rides and attractions for all ages, plus restaurants and gift shops and open-air performances. If you do go, be sure to stay late for the fireworks. It's amazing. The next place we'd like to recommend is Universal Studios. This is known as the entertainment capital of Los Angeles. Universal Studios offers movie-themed rides and exhibits, plus movie studio tours. Check out Jurassic Park, Revenge of the Mummy, Transformers, and Peter Jackson's King Kong 360, just to name a few. Okay, well, that wraps up our attractions. I'd like to move on to our fourth polling question, and I'm going to go ahead and launch that right now. Okay, you should be able to see it on your screen now. And we'd like to find out if this is your first trip to Long Beach or Southern California. I'll leave the polls open for a few seconds, and then we'll discuss the results. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the polls, and I'm going to share the results. And it looks like 75% of the attendees today have not visited Southern California. So this is great news. You're going to love coming to the West Coast. On the other hand, we've got some regulars down here that have been here 25%, so you can definitely have fun as well. So we look forward to seeing you at the conference. Okay, so just a few things to talk about next are tips to remember. I wanted to remind you that the early bird rates end on January 17, 2017. To register, you can log onto our website, PELRA.org, and register there. We do also offer a single-day rate pass to our conference for only $2.99. This is a great option if you can attend the entire conference. If you can't attend the entire conference. Rooms are selling fast at the Hilton Long Beach. The special rate for single and double bed rooms are $179 per night. We encourage you to book your hotel room as soon as possible. Be sure to use the code AC2 for the discounted room rate. Now, the next thing we'd like to recommend is using social media during the conference. Facebook and Twitter are a great way to keep up to date on current news before and during the 2017 annual training conference. Be sure to use the hashtag PELRAATC in all your Facebook and Twitter posts. We will also have a mobile app available that you can download to your smartphone. This app will provide additional information on ATC sessions and workshops, plus lets you share photos and check in with the conference. Now, if you are traveling with a friend or a family member that is interested in participating in either our welcome reception or the Queen Mary event, we do offer guest registration. More information on this is available on our website at PELRA.org. Okay, well, that wraps up our webinar today. What to expect in Long Beach during the 2017 annual training conference. We hope you found this webinar helpful and entertaining. We had fun putting it together. And I know Michelle would like to share a couple words with you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the microphone over to Michelle. Michelle.
All right. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. And looking at all the attractions, I've never been to Catalina Island myself, and I'm really looking forward to visiting that. And Long Beach does have a lot to offer for the attendees and even for their families. On behalf of the entire National PELRA team, we want to thank you for spending time with us today. I hope you have a great day and happy holidays to you and your family. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in Long Beach next year. If you have any questions that weren't answered today, please contact Scott O'Connor at scott@npelra.org. And again, I appreciate all the panels and the NPELRA team for putting this together, and have a great day. Thanks.